Hi, welcome to Fox Valley Today. I'm Barb Nadeau. My guest is Tom Zimmerman. He's here for Plano Building Community and Tommy's Gift, and really like three wonderful stories, two very sad stories, and then what do people do with hardship and bad times? Well, they turn it into something wonderful, and Tom, I think that's going to be the message today, and I'm so happy that you are here. I'm so excited to have a chance to talk about this year's Plano Building Community Project and to learn more about Tommy's Gift. So thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having us. We're very excited for the opportunity to share this story. Tommy's Gift is a faith-based mission outreach that my wife and I founded in 2012.
And this was something that was new to me, and I was so glad the other day to be out, this past weekend, to be out and to just run into the two of you, and I saw your name on your jacket, and I just had to stop you and say hello. I was so glad to meet you and your wife and to learn more about what you're doing. But this is, Tommy's Gift is actually a mission of the United Methodist Church of Plano, is that right?
Yes.
But you are part of that congregation. But this is where the first sad story comes into play. And can I ask you to share your story?
Sure. In 2009, my wife and I lost our son Tommy. He was born premature, and he was with us for 3 weeks. And he went through a journey that was an incredible journey, and it was a thing that every day that we went to the hospital with him, we were faced with test results and procedures that would determine things like if he would be blind for the rest of his life or if he was going to survive or not. So it was an incredible journey that unfortunately ended in his passing.
Now this was your first child?
Our third child.
This was your third child? Yeah. Okay.
And his journey, the reason we call it Tommy's Gift was he gave us a gift through the journey that we had with him.
So you had already had 2 healthy children. From
a previous marriage. This was Kim and I's first child, my third child, and we've been blessed to have 2 more.
Now that's where I got confused over the timing of everything.
Yeah.
So you knew what you were losing.
Yeah.
And also, for you and Kim, for your first child to be going through this, all of your hopes and dreams are wrapped up in that child.
Yes. Yes.
I can't imagine what that's like. I had 4 healthy babies, and I have no idea what that must have felt like.
It's something you wouldn't wish upon anybody, and as it happens, it's you just can't imagine anything worse. But what's amazing is through Tommy's death, the experience that we had through that gave us our faith. It gave us hope. It actually pulled Kim and I closer together. It was a journey that tested us to every level, and thank God that we passed it. And I think it was through divine intervention that we were able to get through that time together.
So the gift that Tommy gave you was your faith?
Was our faith.
And your marriage.
Yeah. Yeah. And since experiencing that, it's an amazing thing because you become more aware of what other people go through, because now you have a common, it's not necessarily a common bond, but you start to realize that there's a lot more people out there that have lost children at many different levels. And one of the things that Kim and I always realize is that there's different levels of loss when it comes to a child. And we experienced a different level, having Tommy be three weeks old and losing him, in comparison to, say, a family that loses a 16-year-old or even an adult child. So we're very aware of that.
How did you take your grief and everything that you went through and turn it into this foundation, Tommy's Gift, this mission that you have? And tell me, what does Tommy's Gift do, or what has it done since its inception?
The amazing thing is the way that we turned it into Tommy's Gift is we were camping in Door County, and we ran into 4 young girls, the Landowski girls, just by chance. And they shared their story with us, and they were teenage girls that sacrificed for a year to raise money to go to India to do mission work. And they did it twice. And we were so moved by the selflessness of that act that it made us realize that through our faith we needed to do God's work and to actually get out there and walk the walk. So we came back and decided to start Tommy's Gift off of that inspiration. And Tommy's Gift is a mission that we try to do home repairs and home maintenance for people that don't have the ability to do it for themselves. And we decided to use that path because I'm in the trades myself, and it was a talent that we could lend to that. And since the conception, Tommy's Gift has been able to effectively change and help 6 different families in the community, and that's Tommy's gift to them.
It's almost as if you met up with these other people on your vacation, but they, you know, just realizing that it wasn't something that you just had to hold on to yourself,
right.
That you could turn around and give something, and then the time to be away and say, well, what do we have to give, and what can we do?
Yes,
How can we turn this away? It's like, it's almost like set in motion. A plan was set in motion.
Yeah, exactly. And we were just, you know, we were just in it for the ride, and we just we put our faith in it and let it just happen. And it's really been the most rewarding thing that Kim and I have done. And it's put a twist on what we went through with Tommy and turned what basically at the time was a tragedy. And we can look back and we have the emotion of what we went through, but we see it now as a blessing. And it's really put a different perspective on our lives, a positive one.
Now, at the same time, here in the city of Plano, just an amazing thing has been happening with the extreme makeovers that they've been having. They started about, 5-6 years ago with Plano Building Community. It was a family that had been identified that needed help, and it needed a lot of help. And then at the same time, a group of people from one of the area churches said, well, you know, we need a mission. We want to do something close to home. I think I remember the start of this, and I know that the director of Plano's Planning, Building, and Zoning, Tom Karpus, was one of the people that helped them get started, because they said, we're looking for someone to help. And he says, well, wait a minute, I have this person I know who is in need. If I remember right, I think the first one was for the Barron's family, and they did an extreme makeover for them, and they just came and helped that family rebuild. And it started a phenomenon that's happened every summer in Plano. At the beginning of summer, Memorial Day weekend, just an incredible story.
Yeah.
Somehow you and your wife got together with this group. How did that happen?
Well, that would be 2 years ago. We sought out the organization because we saw what they did in the newspaper, and we became involved with the last year's build, and it's just progressed that this year I am now the president of the Plano Building Community, and very proud to be a part of that. And we are kind of joining forces with Tommy's Gift and bringing the 2 organizations together. So yeah, it's a wonderful organization. I was involved with last year's build, and again, the idea of going and the community getting together and rolling up their sleeves and helping a family that needs some help is a concept that is as American as apple pie, and we're so proud to be a part of it.
Now, Plano Building Community is something that really is, their whole mission is, let's build a community working together to help each other, and let's do something for one of our members. And they do it in that extreme makeover weekend. I know they've also been involved in the community garden project in Plano and other little things, but it's really that once a year push where they pull together plumbers and carpenters and just kids who want to learn how to use a hammer and a nail, and people who are willing to pick up trash and move and just be just little worker bees and do whatever is needed. And they pull together professionals, and they pull together volunteers of all shapes and sizes and ages for one massive weekend. Is Tommy's Gift, however, doing something like around the year? You have little projects that happen?
Yeah,
during
Tommy's
the year?
Gift is we take on anything that we can, and the need is, there's never a shortage of the need. In fact, this weekend, a handful of us are just getting together. We're going to be building a handicap ramp for an individual in Sandwich. So we take on any way that we can help. We specialize more in the smaller type projects, and any way that we can facilitate a need for anyone in the community that has a genuine need. And where, yeah, the Plano building community is on a much larger scale. But yeah, we do things year round for Tommy's Gift for sure.
This is really cool, and it just makes sense that you doing what you do with Tommy's Gift and doing what you do, you know, every day of your life as far as your expertise is. You were telling me before the show that you're actually in the building trades, that you're a cabinet maker yourself, and so it's just natural that you would gravitate to projects like this. But it's nice to know that there's no project that's too small, and no need too small, and no need too great that isn't worth tackling, and that's just it just makes sense that you would join forces with Plano building community. Now comes sad story number 2, and that is this year's family. Every year Plano building community finds a family in need. Last year it was a family with a handicapped member, and it was a multi-generational family that needed a lot of help, and not just the needs of not just the needs of maybe a ramp, but sometimes when you're handicapped you need concessions inside the home. There's different things that have to happen. You know, maybe it's countertop height or bathroom. There's all sorts of things that happen. This year the story is far different.
Yeah, this year is, it's a very unique story. The need is no less, but the story is completely different. It ties Tommy's Gift and the Plano building community together, not only just from the connection of Kim and I, and we also have members on our board that kind of intermingle between the two organizations. But the Knipsel-Safford family were members of our church, and the Knipsel-Safford family were also nominated and accepted as the family for the Plano building community. Their story, if you remember, I believe it was in August of last year, their son Jared was working on the family car. He's 16 at the time, and the jacks had slipped off the car, and unfortunately Jared was killed in the family driveway. First responders were able to get there pretty quick, and they kept Jared going long enough for the family to make the ultimate decision. And one of the reasons too that we feel so strongly that we need to give back to this family is because when they were faced with this afternoon that started with their son there, and they're in the evening and they're making a decision to donate his organs, and they didn't hesitate. And Jared's death saved 4 other lives through the gift of hope. So their story is they had just returned to Plano from Urbana because mom, Lori, was going to finish her education. They have 3 children, Jared being the oldest. Tyler and Sean are the younger brothers. And she went and finished her education at that point, which is a huge leap of faith just to have the strength to do that. And she graduated from the University of Illinois, and they came back to the family home after renting it out for 4 years. And they started a construction project like anybody else would, a fresh start. And they tore the house up in anticipation, and like all of us do.
Basically, they came back, they had rented their home, and when they came back, they knew that they had to pull it back up to what they wanted for a home. I mean, when you're renting, and you never know.
Yeah.
And so they started this huge project, basically pulling out everything and getting ready for the massive rebuild, right?
Yeah, like all of us would. You know, you do it in the exact worst order that you could do it. And, you know, and they still hadn't even unpacked a lot of things because, you know, you're going to finish a room, you'll wait, and then this tragedy happened. And knowing a little bit about what it means to lose a child, I can't imagine on that level. But I know that it's paralyzing, and they have to come home every day and face this construction site, and it's very hard to to move on. So that's where we want to help them.
A loss is paralyzing, and
Yes.
it really is. And on a personal level, I feel so badly personally, because I know Lori, I know the family, I knew Jared, I know Tyler, and I didn't know that they had gutted their home. I didn't know that they had started this construction project. And when I was at the wake and the funeral, I didn't realize that when all of the gathering of people that came out in support of that family, when they all left, that family was going home to a mess that they would have to deal with every day. And now we're looking at several months down the road. And as you said, when you're grieving, it's really hard to move forward. And to go home every day to, basically, holes in walls, or, boxes that are undone. And any box that you open is going to have the memory of Jared as soon as you open the box. I don't know how they're doing it.
No, and I think we have an opportunity, and Kim and I know that the other board members that belong to both Tommy's Gift and the Plano building community feel that we have an obligation as a community to help families like this and let them know that we're there for them, and I think it's the right thing to do. And we're hoping that if we can get together and raise enough money and get the right kind of people to come together and spend a weekend of your time, that we can take this family and catapult them into life and
into joy. And Jared's mom, Lori, is such a joyful person anyway. She's such a giver, and that family is so dedicated to volunteerism and giving back and helping other people. That's her nature. That's what came out so clearly when this young man died, was his gift to everyone. He was an incredible force of nature himself, and it makes sense that he was an organ donor. He wouldn't have wanted to be anything less. So to just see that come back around and be given back to that family, I think that is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, and we're, for Kim and I, it's, we didn't have any support, and we really want to help people that are going through this any way we can. And I want to preference, what we went through was a completely different experience than what Lori and Dave are going through, and we have a commonality that we know what it is to lose a child, but it's compounded, with every story. And my heart goes out to them, and we just want to make a difference for them, and we want to let them know that they're not alone, and that the fact that they, and we can't emphasize enough the fact that they had the selflessness to, even in the end, like you said, they're giving people, but even in the end, to think of others and donate Jared's organs, which is an incredible gift to give. We all owe it to him to do something for him, and that's what our goal is, and we're hoping to do that. And it's from a selfish perspective too. It's a way for us to have our son's name live on, and we realize that with our son, he lived for 3 weeks, and just like Jared gave back, ultimately, and there's 4 families out there that don't have to grieve the death of a loved one because of him. We like to think that Tommy's touched more lives, in his 3-week existence than I know that his father's ever touched. So we're very proud of that connection.
Oh, this is an awesome, and then now we get to the best part of the story, and that's the giving back. But we're going to hold on to that. We're going to keep that for a little bit later in the show, because I could talk to you all day. I am really enjoying talking with Tom Zimmerman. He is the father of Tommy Zimmerman, and he and his wife, the founders of Tommy's Gift. You can find more information at tommysgift.org. You can also learn more about Plano Building Community through tommysgift.org and the Jared Knispel Memorial Home Makeover Project. This extreme makeover is happening Memorial Day weekend. That is May 23rd through the 26th. It's on the south side of Plano, on Southwest Street. It's going to be a wonderful weekend and a lot of wonderful people coming together, but they also have a lot of special events to get this project going. And so we want to share all of that with you as well. We're going to take a really quick break, and we're going to be back with that right after this.
Oh gosh, I forgot it.
Her nurse,
Need a claim number?
her personal assistant,
Let me just grab a pen.
her housekeeper, her cook, her accountant. When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving to connect with experts and other caregivers. Together we can better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Welcome back. Tom Zimmerman's been sharing the story of his son Tommy, and also the story of Jared Knispel, two young boys from Plano who have and who are making a real difference in the community. And the Jared Knispel Memorial Extreme Home Makeover, it's happening. It's going to happen on May 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. That's the entire Memorial Day weekend. Come, work, go home when you're tired, come back when you're refreshed, stay and have a sandwich, help people out, and you're going to need a lot of help coming together to pull this off. I think it's an amazing I think it's an amazing project, but I want to ask you. So I want to ask you three questions, and it's a lot to put in the next 5 or 7 minutes of our show. You're going to have a town hall meeting coming up on April 3rd. What are we going to learn there?
The concept of the town hall meeting is that the scope of work is so large, and everybody has a different way to contribute to this. So we're asking anyone who has an interest in participating or learning more about the project to come to the town hall meeting. That way we can explain the scope of work. If someone has an idea or an interest or a talent, we can direct them to the people that they would work under to facilitate that. We're asking and pushing for any skilled trades members that this would be a great time for them to come. We have broken down the scope of work from to the detail of landscaping, all the way down to refreshments, to decorating, things of that nature. And it's an opportunity for people who have ideas or questions to come and ask and get ready to participate in this, and then to be directed towards the people that would be An example would be we'll have someone who's in charge of landscaping. And if there's someone out there that has an idea or talent or an ability to bring something to it, we can put them in direct contact with that person who's going to lead that push. And we really want the public to be aware that this is happening. And as far as volunteers go, we want everybody who has anything to offer to come and volunteer, even if you don't know anything about the trades or whatnot. Just even to bring your spirit and your joy to the construction site that weekend is welcome. But if you do know skilled labor, your neighbor, your friend, or yourself, please let them know. We need about 15 carpenters, plumber, electrician, all the rest. This is an opportunity for all that labor to come together and really get the scope of work and get the details of what we need to accomplish this.
All right, and then you're going to have another night. So the first thing is the town hall meeting is going to be on April 3rd at 7 o'clock at the American Legion in Plano. That's at 510 East Dearborn Street in Plano. I always tell people just take, Route 34 to Hale Street, go south 1 block to Dearborn, and then turn east again and drive until you see all the cars parked and stop. Because everyone is going to be right there, and that's the end of the road right there at the Legion parking lot, and a great location for the town hall meeting. That's also going to be the location for your trivia night. And is this a fundraiser for the project?
Trivia night will be our main fundraiser for the year. Don't be intimidated by the fact that it's a trivia night. You're never put on the spot. Teams of 10 all the way to 1 person. There's really no big prizes at the end, but there'll be a silent auction. The trivia is a lot of fun. Imagine game night with your family on steroids. That's trivia night. It's at the Legion. It's a good time. It's about celebrating the project. It's about celebrating the family. And it's about raising money because, we need the funds to facilitate this program. And we want it to be a joyful evening, and we guarantee you'll have fun at trivia night. We've done this for a couple of years, and we put on a great trivia night. So we're really excited about that evening.
Yeah, as you said, Tommy's Gift is a mission of the United Methodist Church of Plano, and I always see the signs out front that say Trivia Night. So if anybody knows how to put on a good party, it'll be the United Methodist Church of Plano, and that's great that you're taking that to the Legion and making this fundraiser. And I saw from your brochure that you're going to have silent auctions, raffles, giveaways, all sorts of things going on through the night to keep that excitement going. So that's pretty nice. If people want to help you out with that, can they donate like gift baskets, or will you take donations to make it even more spectacular?
Oh, definitely. We'll take any help we can get. Yeah, gift baskets, donations, things to silent auction off, any kind of monetary help. It's all, if you go to our website, tommysgift.org, you can find the contacts and the information to get that to us. And yeah, we would take any kind of assistance.
Now, of course, that all leads up to the Memorial Day weekend, May 23rd, when all the action, descends on the Knispel family home, and you do the makeover. And you've been involved in the makeover for a couple of years now, Tom, and I wanted to ask you about that because when you talk about the scope of what happens at the Plano Building Community Projects, you're talking about a lot of money that is donated, a lot of time and effort. Any idea, what the bottom line as far as cost, and then like total project?
For this one, this is the largest one we've ever tried to take on. And it's by far the largest one we've tried to take on. Our expectations are extremely high. We're fortunate that we're partnering up with Home Depot. Home Depot in the past, with all the projects that I've been a part of, have been quick to make donations, more so than any of the other box stores. I can't tell you the number of times I've walked into Home Depot with the management team that they have now and walked out with $500 worth of lumber for a ramp or something. They're going to try to make a bigger push this year going through corporate, and we're going to see how much we can get from them. But the bottom line is, if we want to do everything that's on our list, we need about $30,000.
Wow. And so that's a lot of help, and that's a lot of money. Tom Knispel, our guest, I hate to say it, we are out of time, but look up tommysgift.org and get involved now. Thank you so much.